Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ordeals of Livistio wrap-up conclusion? Question mark? How's it going, everyone?
It goes okay. I went to go to the gym this morning and turned the key in the ignition of my car, and my battery just went, nah, JK, not gonna happen.
Jesus.
Which is annoying. I don't know why, because it was fine last night. Like, no problems at all, so gonna get that in the shop and get it looked at. Otherwise, pretty decent.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about what sounds like a battery issue, which I blame all car problems on. And how have you been? Any more hit and runs?
No more hit and runs. Everything is good. Yeah.
That's good.
Everything has gone on. I'm eating a pear.
A pear?
Excellent.
I'm eating my daily intake of fruit. Just one fruit.
One whole fruit keeps the fruit man away. Rube, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I survived another week, and I didn't die.
Very nice. Surviving is key, I'm told. Red, are you surviving?
Going pretty good.
Nice, nice. Corin?
I actually didn't survive.
I actually hate you. I freaking hate you. Now, guys, happy news. Happy news ahead. This will be our final session of this season of these characters, at the very least for now, or maybe we'll revisit them. I have plans that I wish to share with you towards the end of this stream, and I want that to just rest in the back of your mind so you can feel a little bit anxious, for the future for your characters is also unknown right now. We'll jump into them in just a moment. But for now, gamers, guys, Ordeals of Livistians, all of you out there, you beautiful dingoes, performers, patient people. I don't know how else to sandbag my opening, but welcome. Guys, I'm in a lovely and also sick mood. I'm fighting a stomach thing right now, and I am feeling a little bit feverish. So, as we all know, my feverish episodes are also my best. And I'm glad to wrap us out of this saga that is non-stop Ordeals. I have some plans for all of the characters here, and I'm unsure where to begin, honestly, because chronologically, these can happen at any point or time. So, my question to you guys, before I unload 8 rounds into you all, with a revolver, I need to know, did any of you have any final pressing things you wish to do with your characters before we enter what is essentially extended downtime?
Yeah. I wanted Snefru to finish transcribing the spellbooks and sneak Marco Brennock's spellbook back into his scriptorium with a little note. Like, thanks, it almost helped. And like a 10 silver tip.
1 gold, you stole his priceless book of knowledge that you didn't even get to use. Hell yeah. I think you can totally get that done, Snefru. No problem. Does anyone else have any personal objectives they wish to do? Nothing from Yonsei, nothing from Glynis. Silence from Ursale. Dizem.
I don't think I'm reading like every note I've ever read. I guess like hope Gary's doing okay. I think that guy's doing pretty good.
Gary? Who's Gary?
The Undertow.
No. Gary Undertow?
The Undertow. The
Oh,
He wrote
the
Ordeal.
the fucking
the first world.
guy. Well, he skipped my
Good
mind
job.
entirely. So who
Hope
knows
that
how
guy's doing
he's
good.
done.
Hope the Necropancer is doing pretty good, and that's it. Those are my two. Hope they're doing good out there.
Well, who knows? You may be going to see them here in a bit. All right.
I don't think I am.
Well, I have a lovely D8 in my hand, so and a list of 8 things that I wish to get through. Yeah.
I guess I do have one thing. Does Brogvarsh come back to court?
I
where'd
have
that guy go?
plans for Brogvarsh, Ursala.
Okay.
You will be able to
Chill.
engage with him in a moment. Let's find out who we're engaging with first, however. Gotcha! Number 7. I believe... Okay. We're starting off a little bit saucy, a little bit secretive as well. It is May 28th, guys. It's been several weeks, 2 weeks, since the coronation of Glynis Marchette. It was a small thing. Friends, family, important nobles who were nearby, as well as, invitations. Emissaries showed up. It was a neat little thing. But during this time, as Glynis is receiving gifts by mail, effectively little tokens from other nobles in the region, in the area, congratulations, hey, blah, 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 keep in mind, business offers, there's so much mail. Glynis, there is so much goddamn mail. For the first time, you realize why Argyle was so important to your father. Of sorting the riffraff mail. And Argyle's not feeling that well after spending so much energy and also the demonic influence over his mind leaving. He's kind of been recovering. So you've been doing all of your mail when you get a letter. A letter from a certain princess of Niord.
Oh.
Indeed. I'm going to send it to you privately first, and then after you glance through it, I'm going to let you choose to read it out loud, or let me read it out loud so I can edit it midair. In case I made a misspell. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
There you go.
This is Princess Elisa?
This is Princess Elisa. How funny would it be if it was just a different Neordian princess? It's like, hi, we've never met. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Princess May.
I should note that this letter does carry a courier with it, which might have drawn more attention than I humorously hinted at. For Pia Kirkland, a cleric is the one who hand delivers it, and then kind of waits for a response in the city itself.
So, wait, so does Pia get close enough to me that I know that this is Pia Kirkland, the, cleric of the Neordians?
Probably not. The letter would get handed to you by a trusted / one of your court, maybe, but...
Okay, so I don't know for sure that the cleric of the, Neordian armies came to deliver a letter.
Indeed.
Okay, fair.
However, you will soon be made aware of her presence after you read the contents of this letter. I promise. While Greg is busy reading around 500 words or so, maybe less actually, I want to know, since the coronation, specifically, what has Yancey been up to, other than dreading the fact that Mom's coming into town?
Definitely a lot of dreading the fact that Mom is coming into town. If things are gone back to semi-normal, then Yancey is kind of on their way back down to also being semi-normal. So sleeping in, drinking a lot, dissing people just on the street, just to keep on top of things. And then also to be slightly political, because now that's apparently what life is going to be, kind of trying to re-solidify at the very least relationships and trust between the crown and the various families that may or may not have been fucked over by our going-ons.
Well, while
Because we kind of need their money right now.
You do need money. Money, investing, and all sorts of taxation revenue streams is super important. And where better to generate wealth than through entertainment on Yonsei's part?
Yeah. We don't have a finance guy anymore. He was killed, sadly.
Seriously.
And
we'll bring him back.
Maybe it's not my job to hire people, but Yonsei certainly tries to find good candidates.
Yonsei, I'm so glad you said that. For some of your old friends of Bulia have come into town. It's great timing. You find friends from your old Bard Society, which we still don't have a name for, which I want you to make a name for your Bard Society. So that I don't need to make one.
Ooh. I'm trying to think of something that's like a singing pun.
I can't
quite. Yeah. Get back to me.
I'll get back to you. I didn't mean to, what do you call it? Put you on the spot there. But these people, these charlatans, I almost called them harlots, or harlequins. Charlatans.
I mean, a lot of them are also harlots, so.
You know, we don't judge. The charlatans, these performers, these songsters, and honestly, insult tears are easily made ready to do whatever you need them to do, Yonsei, because they hear this country is going to be the next party town because Yonsei's in the current government establishment. So there's no way they're missing out on this new opportunity. And also, Bulia is currently like doing this thing where they murder each other. Just everyone kind of in a state of constant noble elite squabbles. And bards who make money cutting jokes and taking the piss out of people are kind of being targeted right now.
Yeah. Not a great place to be when you're really funny.
No, definitely not.
People just don't know how to take a joke these days.
They don't. Greg, have you browsed through the letter?
You're muted.
I have. Yes. You said you would like me to read it aloud.
If you would like.
I could definitely do. Sure. I think it's interesting. The letter goes as follows. King Marchette, I entrust this letter finds you well. I wish to convey news from Niord, for although my father still believes Livistio may solve many of the problems that shall befall my homeland in approaching years, it is my firm belief that the internal problems cannot be remedied by any external person or places. In the military's absence, lesser demons and monsters from Tiamat have devastated the countryside, which was an apparently acceptable sacrifice, my father decided, believing that Livistio's plunder would offset the cost. As the successes of Niord were limited, were I you, I'd expect an increase of banditry in both your realms and the independent settlements between our countries. My fellow royals shall be dealing with these incursions for the foreseeable future, as well as dealing with deserters and dissatisfied warlords who gained nothing but pain, sorrow, and trauma in the war. Although it is not my place to make suggestions, an astute observer of the Niordian situation will realize there is many a hungry dissident to the current royal family that would not mind to travel to the neutral township of Rien for any humanitarian aid your bountiful nation could provide. I shall continue to struggle in this life as my God has given me, and to help shoulder the challenges of my people, I hope that a day might come where our countries do not view one another as enemies, but as friends that can trust one another, as you did to my brother and myself during our time in your homeland, even when we were not invited. I thank you, brain. I thank you for your grace on behalf of my brother, who publicly has stated he shall kick you so hard in the head your neck will separate off your shoulders. The bearer of this letter, Pia Kirkland, is a trusted friend and my spiritual mentor, who, although acted as voice of my father, King Mayon Felvague, is no longer welcome inside the capital after taking a bishop of Divinus as high priest in his court. Although it is not my place to make requests, I would ask if you could allow her stay in Livistio for a time, so that she might prove that not all of the North consider Livistio their enemy. With aspirations, Elisa Felveg.
Glynis, you read this letter, and Pia's not in front of you. You track down the guy who gave you this piece of mail?
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm very interested in meeting. I basically want to summon her to the, like, court, right? Like, hey, guy, Timmy, buddy, I love the mail. You keep doing a good job of it, but there's something else I need you to do. All right, Timmy. So there's a woman, I believe, that handed you this letter, and I just wave it in front of his face. You remember? Great.
My ankles if I didn't hand it to you personally.
That sounds very believable. I would love to meet them. Could you get a crier or somebody and summon? I would like to summon them to court, I suppose, or to my. I'd like to meet them.
You're
Can you?
The king.
I'm extending.
You give the orders, boss.
Yeah. I'm new at this. Could you go and invite them to come and meet me? I would love to chat.
Is this a parlor meeting, a dinner meeting, the casual thing?
This is an invitation to. Good question. This is not a casual. This is not a casual meeting, I suppose, but I do not want it to seem that I am calling her before the court. Perhaps this is a summons to meet the king, and I believe that is all that needs to be said. She is summoned.
Sure.
Yeah.
I shall go and search her out at once, Your Majesty.
Good shit, Timmy. I slap him on the ass on the way by. You got this.
Are you sure you're not Yonsei today? He's heads out.
I waggle my eyebrows at him when he asks that.
Who knows?
It's terrible when you do it.
Glynis, do you go and get any of your comrades before Pia Kirkland shows up?
Ooh, great question. Are they readily available, or are they super busy doing shit?
They're around.
Yeah, then I think that Sneferu and not Glynis, but Glynis.
Yonsei?
Goddamn brain. Yonsei, thank you. Sneferu and Yonsei are people that I think are my more politically savvy of the entourage. I would love to get them for sure. And I am intrigued by her ability to potentially, magic the shit out of us. So maybe a cleric of a different deity might be a fun thing to bring. So I think I would definitely send for... I guess I would make sure Yonsei and Sneferu were there if, at all possible. A third person who, I would invite, but would not wait around for, would be Dizem.
Dizem, I need you to roll me a 1d20 to see if you're available. Just don't roll a 1 through 5.
That's not possible.
Oh, you're already there. You actually read this letter before he did.
I was, in the bath, I was I have nothing to do today. I'm so bored. Oh, there's a letter.
You said, you read that it said Pia Kirkland, and you just immediately found her.
You're waiting when Timmy shows up.
Yeah, you can summon everyone but Ursale, and Ursale, I am singling you out, even though Glynis did not summon for you. You are currently preoccupied with something, and I will jump to you after this little meeting here.
I guess in preparation, if people show up or as they show up, I will hand out the physical letter that was read, so that canonically they have a chance to peruse.
Yeah. If you want to copy paste it in our little Discord chat so that others can read
it,
go for
that
it.
is intelligent. And a thing I should do
today.
Yeah.
Court plus Glynis minus Ursale, you will receive Pia Kirkland, who, although is not clad in her plate mail, is still carrying herself with a unjustified regality.
It's too long, John. I can't paste it all.
I did it in halves.
Fair.
Pia Kirkland, I'm sure some of you have seen before, but is a relatively common-looking human woman with short red hair. Her eyes are the most striking, for they are incredibly sharp and almost see through you, like that of a hawk. She goes through the motions of a noble bow, which she is trained in, for she is a noble, even though she considers herself a cleric first and foremost. And she will bow, do the motions, and then stare at you, Glynis, for a moment.
I guess I return, right? I'm still Glynis, even though I have a weird crown on my head, right? Glynis is definitely returning a courtly bow given the opportunity. He's been doing this for like 34 episodes now. It's paying off finally.
I greet you, Your Highness.
Thank you for responding to my summons. I have had an opportunity to read the letter from the princess that you have delivered here. I must admit, I am surprised that you have come yourself. I wasn't expecting it. I have been eager to have the opportunity to speak with you, perhaps on more mundane topics, but I am glad to have the opportunity. Are you familiar with what was asked in the letter?
Yes.
I see. What do you feel about staying here?
What do I feel?
I suppose what I am asking is, do you wish to stay in Livistio with us, as was requested? And is this is this your desire?
The struggles of humans, as well as all creatures, are universal. I am Neordian by blood and nationality, but there is a higher purpose than all of us. I am sure at least one of you understands that.
Understood.
Obviously, her eyes go to Dizem for this saying.
If
If that was not clear to
thought you meant-
anyone.
Nefer's nodding. You're like,
Yes,
she's talking
of
about me.
course.
Yeah.
Beyonce's like,
Very
"So is
well.
Beyonce,
Beyonce, like-
for sure. Yeah.
Very well. Then I would like to welcome you to Livistio. You may stay here as long as you desire. I have an offer for you. You see that I employ a cleric from a faraway land myself. You have intimate knowledge of our neighbors to the north. It is my hope that one day we can repair that relationship, though it may take some bloody years in the future, I am sure. I hope that perhaps you would be interested in providing your knowledge and advice in the courts. There's positions available. Would you serve with us?
In combat, I would not against my own people. Were it the heretics to the south who conjure up false gods, I would not be opposed to offering you my aid. I
appreciate that.
You would invade Zwan.
Perhaps I am slightly misunderstood. Though I do have good news for you. The paladins to our south hate the shit out of us. There's a real good chance you might be able to kick some Divinus ass at some point. But perhaps I should be more clear. Pia, I wish not for your combat expertise. While I appreciate that you would be willing to grant it in some circumstances, I am very confident in those I employ to fight. I instead would ask for your expertise in other matters. You understand a culture and a people that I do not. They are a culture and a people that I will need to know quite well in the coming years. I would ask you to be an advisor, someone on the court who can see things that I may miss and help me make the right choices.
I would gladly offer my service for such a noble aspiration.
Excellent. I'm pleased. Then, you are welcome in the courts. We are in a bit of a restructuring period. I think you might understand that. I have yet to assign everyone a position, but let us work together and find an expertise of yours that we can assign you.
Behold,
now,
I shall show you my first miracle. And she watches she goes to this great big rubble pile which separates the courtroom in half. And for 10 feet of it, or maybe even 5 feet of it, I'm not sure, she will shape the stone. It's a fucking miracle, everyone. What an amazing clerical ability.
You know what? There's a lot of rubble in the city right now.
That's actually really helpful.
It's really helpful. Also,
pillars?
3 times.
Can you make bridges?
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a bridge that might need a little bit of that. 10 feet might actually be perfect.
Square feet, yes.
That's the perfect amount for that bridge.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So I do this with water. No one bats an eye. They do it with stone, and all of a sudden, it's the coolest thing ever.
Well, we're not building our houses out of water, are we, Dyza? We're not you.
One is much more permanent, Dyza, than water.
One will help you live another day. So, make your choice. Unless you're eating stone.
You know what? If you want to go and make fresh water for all the people that don't currently have access to it, that'd be fantastic, too.
Dyza, you bring up a good point. You helped us magic an army across a river in the dead of night and change the course of a battle, and I think we didn't even really bat an eye, largely because we expect such great things from you. But you know what?
Yeah, you're too good.
I pat him on the shoulder. You're fucking great.
Thank you. That's
and then
all
I turn
I
around.
wanted.
Yeah. That's it was just praise, and then I turn back to Pia. Now that business is concluded, I am very intrigued by the, I suppose, god that you worship, with power you called them. The Lady Elise intimated to me on our meeting that their life had been saved by such a miracle, and was unable to give me, I don't know, the details that I desired, and I had no wish to push her for them. Would you be open to discussing your faith with us?
Of course.
I'll have you know, Livistio is built on the Bear Mother's blessing. You will not find a convert here among us. However, I am not a theocrat, and I will not punish or disallow the worship of others, but I wish to know what they stand for. And I wish to know their desires and tenets. I guess I ask you... No, please, continue. I tend to ramble.
you will find there's little overlap between the primal god of this nation and the human god of Rahamaran. He is a helper of the weak. He prefers his clerics be untraditional, picking them when they are not zealous in nature or even religious. You will not see me put up a church nor construct an altar in his name. He is not one that wishes to be popular. Many a human divine has overextended themselves, and he has a select few he has great interest in.
I see. I guess I know them merely as the struggler, or he who watches the struggle, as it was put to me. I know little of your ways, and I do not wish to be insensitive, but I am concerned that sometimes gods like their tenants to be seen will go about bringing them into the world. Tell me, Pia, do you and Rahamaran bring struggles to people? Or do you give them the capacity to overcome them?
You ask a difficult and nuanced question that I am sure philosophers would love to bicker and yell at one another. In my personal experience, he assists those who are in need. But there is a sadistic, I suppose, or unmerciful way he goes about his blessings. For instance, I was subject to severe abuse and near death when he decided to empower me. And ever since, for the past... Her eyes go wide for a moment. 7 years. Oh, it's been 7 years. My weeks and months have been effectively centered around combating creatures and enemies and being at the center of attention. Many a night I wonder if perhaps it would have been better if I was burned away with the house that claimed my husband and his warriors.
No. That is I cannot disown your experiences and what you feel. I'm sure you feel deeply. But no, it is never better to be without you. I thank you for your honesty.
It is
I
one of
will
our
probably...
tenets.
Very good. I will write that down. I have no pressing matters of religion left to ask, unless, Dizem, you have something of your own. I wanted to be sure that, well, my father did espouse many things, but brought much worse upon the country. I did not want to open our gates to a new suffering. But I am happy to have you here. I will probably pick your brain theologically at some other time, like off screen for like hours, because I'm a weird, curious person that reads hella books. But we can do that later. Does anyone have any questions to her, I guess, about theology? Or shall we turn to Niord?
I just have like a obvious question. How do you feel about Divinus?
that word feel again is doing a lot of heavy lifting in your question.
What are your general opinions of the city-state/country of Divinus?
Pia turns to you, Glynis, for a moment and says, "Are members of your court allowed to strangle other members?"
You know, there's not an explicit rule against it, and I've seen it happen before. I guess, light strangling, maybe, like, to prove a
Dyson,
point
come
seems
here.
to be acceptable.
Well, if you need me.
Pia will crush Dyson's throat and throttle him several times. Speak plainly! She demands you.
I'm just asking your opinion on the country.
You
It's
remind
not
me a
legendary.
lot of Sir Morrison and Smiling Sam, I will say.
Do
Two
you like
characters
those
who get
paladin people?
strangled and strangle each other.
It's a curious thing in the court. People just strangle each other all the time.
Yeah.
Not me.
Do you
Perhaps
like
we
the
can make
paladin
rules against
people?
that at some point.
Paladins can be okay. Sometimes. However, if this is going to be an interrogation of me, I would prefer we do this
I'm
off
just
screen.
asking in general.
All right, we'll interrogate you off screen. I wanted your advice on a matter in this letter before we have a friendly theological debate and light strangling. My friend has intimated to me that the Neordians are likely going to be struggling with monsters, disaffected nobility, bandits, deserters, etc. But has also intimated that no outsider could help them. We are a country of greater size and wealth than Niord, though at the moment we are a bit dry in coffers. She suggests we send aid to Rien for those that might arrive, and I agree that this is a noble goal. My question is, how best do we aid them without causing war or problems? I can simply put money in my aunt's fortress or food, but it seems a half measure. I don't want to send my personal army into there and cause an international incident. You understand at least these lands and these people better than I. Help me form a plan here. How can we aid them?
Do you understand the concept of triage?
I understand it in a medical sense, right? To stop the bleeding of a wound, close it down by force, preserve the vital life liquid.
Triage is when you pick those who can be saved and let those who die. There is a pragmatic system to a healer's art when there are a great many wounded. Currently, my homeland is bleeding, but has been for decades now. No solution you will offer can possibly stop the bleeding. But there are things anyone can do to help mitigate some of this proverbial blood loss. You say it is a half measure, but I feel you neglect those you will help through said half measure. to deliver food to the hungry is what... Rather, it is the reason kings exist.
That strikes a very true chord. Perhaps I misspoke in my hastiness to move past that as a solution. I will happily provide said aid as best we can to those who would come to Rien. I was hoping perhaps to go further, but that is not something we can establish here and now. Let us
We shall discuss more
find the
off
finances.
screen.
Excellent. That sounds great.
Yonsei, Snefru. Anything for Pia here?
Nope.
Okay. Snefru's got nothing, it seems. Then that scene will wrap up for now. For we do have somewhat of a busy itinerary, specifically around Ursale right now. Ursale! Tell me, what does it look like when a person from a tribe gets married?
That's a great question, John. Why you gotta give me these hard questions?
Because it's time to
Oh, man.
celebrate! There's a wedding!
So, I'm not sure the tribes are entirely unified, right? Like, there may be some common things and themes. I mean, obviously, like, there's gonna be a gathering, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think probably there would be, like, ceremonial fights. Maybe, you know, a day or two before. With the winners of the fights getting seats of honor at the marriage. Let's see. What else would they do?
Great feasting.
For sure.
Moderate-sized feasting. I mean, we're no rich nobles. We can only afford moderate-sized feasting. You know?
Honestly, if there's any tradition I've learned from the bear people, it's lots of ayahuasca.
Yeah, I think the two of them have to trip together. You know, that's
Okay.
that's like the you know, what's the word? You know, after the marriage, you know, you trip together.
Oh, that's the honeymoon?
Yeah, it's the
You
honeymoon.
got super fucked up?
That's
I
right.
mean,
Okay.
that's relatable.
Why is that after the marriage?
So the parents of the people involved have to present them with the drugs at the marriage
There's something
ceremony.
you do before the marriage ceremony to figure out if we can get high together, we're solid. Like,
Well, with those,
no small thing.
you know, limits, I have to ask, who do you invite to your wedding here? And I'm hiding the name and person who you will be wed to for the moment. But out of curiosity, if, say, you were about to become someone's stepdad, would you invite your new stepchild to the wedding?
I mean, yes, for sure.
Then dies him. I have great
I
news.
think-
No.
I think I would probably invite the king, you know? I mean, I'm marrying into his family too.
I suppose so. The king is
And,
not at his throne right now, so he can't hear this request.
Probably I would invite Snefru.
Hey.
I'm trying to think if I'd invite weird outsider
Look,
cleric.
have I ever done you wrong?
No?
It's
Have
a
I healed
cultural
you?
exchange.
I was there, toe
Brockvarsh
and toe
asked you to
battle.
invite
healing
Dizem, actually, or Sale.
If Brogvarsh asks, for sure. 100%. So the entire party, Brogvarsh, I don't know, I guess I don't have that many friends. Like, I'm a traveler. I don't stay in one spot.
Then people will be invited on your behalf, Ursale. For with your marriage, you will also be gaining a title, both to Livistio as well as, because Lord Zwan demands that the person he marries his daughter to have some sort of station within an actual country. And although this is ceremonial more so than anything else, as well as to give your children a title to inherit, Ursale will have several dozen people be invited here. Chief among them, or rather not even chief among them, but just among them, those who would follow in Ursale's footsteps, of bear champions, of people who have been touched by the spirit of the Bear Mother, who are far weaker and far less mutated, and look upon you with great reverence. For few have become so ursine as Ursale. Alright, you guys ready to hear Yonce's mom's name?
Yeah.
We workshopped it, alright? Me and a guy. We played around with it. The first, that came from was like Beyonce, but I feel that was too on the nose. So rather, we have settled for the hit name Preons, which is roughly Germanic, but also, if you ignore the little umlaut over the O, it spells pre-Yonce, or Beyonce before Yonce. She also has a title called the Voluptuous. Congratulations, Yonce, your mom's hot. Pre-Yonce, along with her father, Lord Zwan, as well as a casual 40 servants that she is bringing to the shithole country, she calls it, is not pleased that she's getting married. But she has had 700 years effectively doing whatever she wanted. And at most, Ursale's gonna live like a decade or two. Let's be real, he's gonna fuck off to become a real bear in, who knows, a year from now? And how long do bears last on average? So she's like, fine, I've had children before, we'll make a weird bear mutant elf hybrid. Who cares? So she's kind of mercenary about her wedding, and very much this is a temporary thing in my life that I'm ready to get past already. Which I think works good for Ursale as a match, because he's got things to do. He doesn't really care much about getting married. This is very much an alliance of convenience, right?
This is for sure a political marriage.
Yeah, for sure.
On both sides. That's what this is for.
However, when you bust out the hard drugs is when you win her over, Ursale. Guys, a small celebration, well, small for royalty, I suppose, will be had within the woods, south of Livistio, or rather north of Lerna, close to a lake that is quite beautiful, that sort of feeds into the great Alferos River. Many a bear will come to investigate the campsite, and all of them are super peaceful, no matter the size and grisly situation they put the normal people in. Glynis, you were up when you got your invitation, but you have been invited to this wedding as well, because you're getting, well, Ursale's marrying into your mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a point to gather hazelnuts as like a gift at the wedding.
Hazelnuts and
all of you?
ayahuasca. Hell yeah.
I hate Ursale.
Look, my only reference point to whatever Ursale is Big Homie in front of the bear cave, and Big Homie in front of the bear cave loved some hazelnuts.
True. Yonsei, what's going through your mind as you see Mom, who you haven't talked to for days and days and weeks and months and years? get hitched to some fucking bear guy you found in the woods months ago. Oh.
Gone.
Yeah, my camera died. I don't know what happened.
Well, you're the DM now, and I'm Steffroom, so I'm a wizard.
Terrible.
I don't even know who's who anymore.
You're Dysum, and Red is now Yonsei.
Is it back on?
Hey, gang.
No, I don't know what happened. Cat, this is your fault.
Oh no.
Well, I guess we just gotta continue with our new roles.
It's true.
We'll
What
fill in
happens
as we
at the
go.
wedding, hen? DM. There we go.
Huh?
Well-
Yay!
Hey!
All right. What was the question?
What's going through your mind as you watch your mom, who you haven't seen for years, get hitched to a bear guy, a hobo you found in the woods?
I don't feel like Yonsei has the best relationship with their mother,
Uh-huh.
for various reasons. So from Yonsei's standpoint, it's like, I can't believe like my buddy is marrying my piece of shit mom.
Uh-huh.
But also that is my mother, and that's kind of gross. She's a gross person in Yonsei's opinion. Ignoring the fact that they're very similar. If you like met yourself, you'd be like, oh, Jesus. Like, that's kind of how
Every
Yonsei
day.
is. Like,
Yeah.
do you live like this? Like, meanwhile, Yonsei's just like doing the same thing, just on a slightly smaller scale. So there's a lot of judgment, but it's very ironic. And also Yonsei has a lot of opinions on the fact that who can't like wear good clothes. The giant fucking bear man. I don't have a tailor with a strong enough stomach to handle this. You're gonna look terrible on the wedding. My mom is gonna look super fucking hot. Like, this
She's
is
so hot.
horrible.
Excuse
Like, you're
me,
an
I look the
embarrassment
best
to the
anyone could
family
possibly
already.
look, like a bear.
True.
Or Saleh.
Well,
No one
Yonsei,
likes bears in Zohan.
There's always settling for fiance.
Yonsei, I call you out specifically for while you are ruminating and probably making yourself an ass at your own mom's wedding,
Absolutely.
you will see that a guest/hired bard from outside, one of your friends actually, that you
Oh
vaguely
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. I decided on a name. It's the Juilliard Academy.
The Juilliard. I need to write that down.
Juilliard with AWD, like odd, or
Yeah.
AWED, I think. Yeah.
I like it.
Juilliard Academy.
Yeah. the
I went to
Juilliard.
Truly Odd.
This
Exactly.
is a hit song dedicated to all half-elves and elves out there. It's called I'm Gonna Get Your Voice. And Yonsei, while you are listening to this, you can't help but realize or notice, picking up on the lyrical trends, that it sounds vaguely hostile and also targeting beret and feather-wearing bards.
I immediately like put my beret, my like hat on like the person next to me, and I'll just like start like ducking through the crowd.
Yeah,
Just,
it's a very weird and like experimental song, which is mostly flute work, which is weird because he's singing while playing the flute.
this is clearly improvised.
It's kind of a banger, honestly. The wedding goes off without a hitch, and Ursale, you are given a gift by the High Priest, also known as the Archdruid of the Bear Mother. This gift is a great big lumberjack's great axe. It is... Let's see what metal it's made out of. It seems to be made out of, like, raw iron that has been polished, shined, and shaped to a brilliant, almost polished sheen. You can see your reflection in it, and your strange new facial features are beautiful, present. It's great. You will see that the haft of aged oak is carved and etched and has runic script all along it, even underneath the handle, which is a bit of bear hide that looks untreated and something you've seen before, quite literally from the bear mother herself. This rawhide in your hand feels right. This axe was not made for you, but at the same time, it belongs to you. You feel yourself almost automatically attuned to it. And only your death and a inheritor of your will be able to attune to this axe. Upon its side, its script in Druidic, it reads, "Protect and consume. Obtain the mother's boon." I can give you the stats if it's necessary, but you're not going to have any combat this session, so I won't.
Excuse me, you don't know what kind of fights I'm going to pick.
Alright, currently it acts as a +1 great axe. And although... Yes, it will... it increases your food requirements for consumption by 2 times, or 2x, whatever that is, which for you is probably a fuck ton. So you're going to be eating a lot of your days now, or rather storing as much fat as you can. And you also increase your strength by +1 and constitution +1, over 20 if they are already at 20.
Please?
Yep.
Sick.
As a special bonus action, you can choose one resistance from the following: slashing, bludgeoning, or piercing, which is not necessarily great for a barbarian, but just having that on all the time isn't the worst thing in the world. There you go. I can copy-paste that to you later. This is what the Archdruid gives you, Ursale, as a wedding gift. And also, with it, the title that he is bestowing upon you, Protector of the Realm. Clap for your friends, guys. What's going on? No celebration at all? Woo! Good job, Ursale. Not Yonsei. Yonsei is reserved.
You did it. I'm so proud of you.
Please add that title to your character sheet, Ursale. Much like how we have King Glynis Marchette here.
I never knew that Ursali would be the slut out of all of us.
It's true. He is. Dyson, while this celebration is being halved, we need to have a little conversation. Specifically with the Archdruid itself, and Brogvarsh. After the wedding ceremony, when Ursale and Priance are getting fucked up, and people are starting to head home or camp down at this fucking lake for a while, Dyson, you are called out specifically by Brogvarsh with a solemn face on his visage, that's the word.
This is probably good news.
We have the worst news for you. Follow me.
Oh no.
You are to be
I'll follow
eaten
them.
by the bears. No. He fucks with you for a little bit before he takes you to the Archdruid, where Winnie is, standing on 2 legs, moving his arms as if he's a person, before landing back down, and the Archdruid says, "Yes, this makes perfect sense." And then he turns to you, Dyson, clearly not having cast a single spell at all, just stares at you like a mad lunatic, this crazy old homeless man who is treated as if he's the Pope of all bears. You are Dyson.
That is I.
This is the first time we have spoken.
Yeah?
Yes. That was more of a question than a statement, but I said it like a statement because I am confident. Are you confident, Dizem?
Haven't died this far.
Death is not what you should be worried about. What you should be worried about is your immortal soul. Dizem,
So like a...
this is not a
Yep.
riddle. Do you know where you are right now?
Dig up in the forest.
Yes, but whose forest?
Are we going like for a theological
Yes.
or like a political?
No.
The Bear Mother's forest?
Yes, that is correct. And the longer you stay here, the more like salmon you reek. The bears look upon you, creature of the ocean, as something to devour. I worry for you, Dizem, for you are an ally to this nation. But even I can tell that protection your goddess is giving you. Hang on.
Holding.
Yes. Sorry, a message just appeared in my mind. You smell bad,
Standing
and
is a weird
also
spell.
less like salt by the day. You must seek out your goddess before you die here by bears attacking you.
Yeah, I'm planning on going on like a little beach trip, retuning with my goddess, checking up on the ocean,
Yeah.
making sure it hasn't been poisoned yet, things like that.
Good. As to your want of making a church or altar inland, I must unfortunately decline such an opportunity.
Hmm.
I apologize, but I would ask you, would you accept an altar to a bear inside the ocean? It is unnatural, no?
No, I'd probably be cool with it. We have sea bears.
No, you don't.
Have you
I
been
would
to the
know,
ocean?
I know every bear that is.
Okay, what's a water bear?
The closest you can get to it is an Arctic bear. Also
Yeah, they
known as a
swim all the
polar
time.
bear, but our poles are weird on Eos. And John hasn't decided if that's what he'll call them in the future.
Yeah, but they like to live in the ocean for a lot of it.
We will allow you to build an altar or church in the river itself, if that is what you prefer.
You want to shake on that?
Yes.
Okay.
You watch him, like, hit the gritty, man. He starts dancing. Because when you say shake, he thinks you mean dance, because he doesn't really understand common.
I guess we're just breaking it down.
You just see
Just winning it on
Ursale
it.
barge into frame, high off his just start dancing. So we shall celebrate. Good luck on your construction, but also go see your mother before you are consumed like a salmon.
You got it, boss.
Do you dance with him?
Yeah, I'll dance with him.
Hell yeah. Give me a performance check to see how good your dance is.
Okay, and
I'll
I'm
see
also
what you're
gonna give
competing against.
high.
Oh, he rolled a nat 18. I don't know. He's probably got like 0
I've a-
negative charisma.
I cannot physically be an 18, John.
Roll a nat 20. You did it earlier.
There's a
No.
problem.
You dance. To you, it looks great. To everyone else, it's like, stay away from those freakazoids.
I didn't want to give Ursale my magic honey.
Oh yeah? As a wedding gift?
Yeah, that's my wedding gift to him. The jar of
Okay.
magic honey.
I just dropped the cap to my water bottle, which I'm not thrilled about. But
Do whatever you want with that, Ursale. It's yours. Honey can't spoil. It's a cool honey fact.
It only counts half a jar of honey for me now.
True, actually. Guys, the celebrations are had. Ursale is married. Eventually, the head priest will ask Glynis to give him property somewhere so that his family can inherit it whenever he spawns children.
Oh, give Ursale property. Yeah, we can figure that out.
Indeed.
I thought the high priest wanted property, and I was about to have a little bit of a
No.
Property
kickoff
can't
there.
be better than my property.
So,
The head priest
Glynis-
needs no property. He's a weirdo.
Glynis, the head priest wants me to own a part of the river for some reason. I don't know what that's
Low
up with.
key, I am very disappointed that John got to this first, because in my head, when he said he wasn't going to give you land to build it on, I was like, great, I'm going to tell him to build it in the river. And then John suggested it, and I was like, god damn. So Glynis is about this. Glynis is like, that's clever and great. I love it.
Many
Everything
dances
returns
are
to the
had.
ocean.
Rivers going to the ocean. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then it's going to be the Snefru show for a minute. Because we got to get to Snefru. Snefru, you got some things to do and some decisions to make. Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We'll be right back.
Uh-oh.
we are back, everyone. And it is now June the 3rd, or the 3rd of June. Snefru, one day, while you are taking care of Hanny Flanagan, as well as doing your courtly wizard duties, over, slightly under a month after Glynis was crowned king, Ursali gets married, you have already sent out the letters and sending messages to the boys in Brimland. You finally get a response. This music's far too joyful. We need... Gosh, do we want sad music? We might need it.
Yeah.
Let's
Boys
play.
and
Something really
A
tense.
sending message comes through to your mind.
Oh, God.
It is a simple one. You know from who immediately, for he will broadcast his name. This is bad news. As you hear, Arcane Inquisitor Acheron demands you open the teleportation circle within Livistio.
Uh-oh. I mean, yes, yes, of course. When would you, I will do
Now.
it this evening. I want it, yes. As you wish, as you command.
You rush down to the dungeons. You shove the table as you see that it is activated beneath you. This teleportation circle, which a few creatures have utilized. Smiling Sam, I believe, dropped you guys on it. This small little round table when you guys re-entered this place. Others have used it for... No, maybe you weren't present for that, so maybe I'll shut the fuck up. Regardless, you will see with a flash of light and a circular, cylindrical shoot disrupting the air around you, comes forth a man in bluish, purplish robes, each with small arcane sigils and symbols on it. In his hand, at the ready, is a wand, and in the other hand, he is holding the pommel of a sheathed sword. He stares at you momentarily and then steps to the side as you will watch the person behind him materialize in shortly after, within the 6-second period of teleportation circle. A priestess wearing several eyeball sigils sort of scrambled around her robes, looking quite confused, with a briefcase in one hand and then a shield in the other with her holy symbol upon it. She's like, what the fuck? Before she quickly steps up, looking quite meek in front of this arcane inquisitor, Acheron, who looks to you with dark, suspicious eyes. You are Snefru of the School of War.
At your service, Inquisitor.
Yes, we have received your message, and there are questions, Snefru. But first, we must look to our own. Where is Hanny Flanagan?
I can bring her to you, or I can bring you to her.
Bring her to us. We do not wish to cause a disturbance in this kingdom. Thusly, do
As you
not
wish.
speak of us to your current ward.
Of course, as you wish. And he will go and fetch Hannigan Flanagan in being his best ninja impression.
You find him. She's easy enough to coax down. And after she feebly trips over herself over the barely seen 2 dungeons during this repair period, the Arcane Inquisitor will speak to the cleric. Where are my manners? This is... And he lets the priestess introduce herself. My name is Farina. I am the cleric of the goddess of Renaya, who sees all things. I'm a knowledge domain cleric, she mutters to herself. And then goes on to Hanny Flanagan to see if the feeble mind can be dispelled, or more likely, greater restored. Greaterly restored?
Restored greatly.
Restored
Hanny's-
greatly.
I have Hanny's book ready to present to her if this is successful.
While the analysis is currently being ready, the identified spell specifically, Acheron will stare at you. Snefru, your master, the Archmagi, or rather the Magicae Mortem, Ralph, has questions.
Ralph.
I am obligated to ask you. Thank you, Greg, for laughing at the name. It's a good name. It's a very good name. Why did you not send immediately upon the knowledge that demons were in this kingdom?
That is a great question, Arcane Inquisitor. I was trained to ascertain all of the facts before reporting. And at the time that I completed my research into the matter, it was soon settled by my ward.
And you supported this son of a demon worshipper, knowing that he will be a weak link in this nation's future.
I believe that he's been tempered and will be a stronger link, not a more brittle one.
The Magicae Mortem disagrees with your assessment. Once one is tarnished by the blood of demons, they are forever a liability.
Arcane Inquisitor, if you had read my report, you would know it is distant brother, not son. So the bloodlines would be in parallel and not in sequence, as it were. So the taint would not be
You
throughout.
know of this demonic contract in greater detail than what you originally reported?
No, my report does show that that they are siblings, not offspring to the contractee.
You know this with certainty?
I do not.
He stares at you as you say that. The identify spell goes off as the lady listening to this is like, I don't need to do I'll spend the spell slot. Just cast. Hard cast identify.
She
he's
just stops the ritual and is like, fuck it. Where's my pearl?
I don't want to be here for this at all. I want to go home right now. She's like, oh, the feeble mind spell, but it's awkward. It's not. What? And this distracts the Arcane Inquisitor for a moment, who shouts at her, "Can you do that in silence? I am interrogating a wizard." And she's like, "I'm so sorry, please don't kill me." I would not kill you. You have use to us still. Snefru. He checks his notes to see what other questions he has for you.
Literally, he's just flipping through pages like,
Yeah, he's quite
kind of covered that.
Criticism,
Slowly.
criticism. It is not my place to criticize you in front of others. Ralph can deal with that. Why did you take your fucking hat off and give it to an unknown entity?
I was confused and made a poor judgment in lieu of a clandestine ploy that failed.
You understand that at any point in time, we could have constricted the crown of that hat to kill the person who stole it.
That was one of the reasons I let it be borrowed, yes.
You are a prude man. This will please Ralph. You satisfy his third. You struck out from the first two, but it's fine. It's not his place to judge you. There is one final matter. You and all court wizards shall be summoned for a summit shortly, within the week. Ready yourself for that summons, for you might not come back here. There are...
Of course.
Important matters at hand, Snefru. This is an all-hands-on-deck situation. And then you just hear Hanny fucking scream out in pain. As the cleric, both your eyes just turn. It echoes out, through the dungeons, up the hall. I'm sure... dies. I don't know who's in the castle, honestly. Might hear it as well. It's late at night, after all. And Hanny just fucking screams in pain and agony and fear. And I would replicate it, but my mic would peak and then it'd go mute, and I can't do that. I'm sorry. Also, people live in this house other than me. Regardless, Hanny screams in agony as she grips her head, screams out, "No! Make me dumb again! And then just starts crying,
Make me
unconsolable.
dumb again.
As the cleric holds up her hands like, what did I just do? The diamond that she used to cast Raider Restoration sizzles, fizzles, and then bursts into magical sparks. And she's like, Feeble Mind's gone. I've done my duty. I haven't done anything. As the Arcane Inquisitor points a finger at her. You better not have. You're on thin ice, Missy. And she's like, please don't. Hanny looks up to you as you holding her spell book. Where's her hat, Snefru? Is it like doubled up on yours, or?
Yeah, I have hers on top, on top of mine.
Double
and
hat.
It's like...
You pop it up. As soon as you try to hand her shit, she just slaps it away from you. No! Never again! No! What the fuck? Just screaming out. And what do you do in this moment, Snefru?
He's shocked because this was his rival for many years. And she seems to fear either her role in magic or her intelligence. The same intelligence that was his bane for many a year. And so he's shocked, speechless.
You're shocked. The Arcane Inquisitor, Acheron, summons forth a mage hand and slaps Hanny with the force of 5 telekinetic pounds. As she... the hand dissipates on shattering of touching a person. And he shouts down at her, "Get a hold of yourself! You're a damn court wizard!" She's like, "Not anymore, I'm not. You don't understand what I've seen." And she looks up to you with eyes. Snefru, give me a perception check as you stare down into her beautiful orbs, which seem to have... 17's very good, Snefru. This might not be able to shield you or reveal what is truly horrifying. But for the briefest of moments, Snefru, you look beyond her eyes. What once were beautiful emerald orbs have now turned into a almost blackened and yellowed thing. A ringed pattern has gone over her cornea, or pupil, I should say, and has twisted her vision that she is beginning to blink out and close her eyes and begins to rub them and just weep without sobbing. in a weird way. And she says, "The demon, it showed me what they're running from." And Acheron is immediately like, "Ah, fuck." And immediately just goes over to Hanny and kicks her in the jaw as hard as he can. And you watch as she crumbles to the floor. Jesus, he says. I mean, life Jesus. Wait, no. I don't have a expletive in my setting that is a universal god. By Tiamat's beard. This is horrible.
By Tiamat's multicolored beards.
Yes. Her horns, I mean. Horns, not beards. I broke character, Sniffer. I apologize. But Hanny has clearly gone insane. We must return her at once to Brimland. Seek not into the details of what she said.
Of course. May she be rehabilitated.
Yes. Cleric, grab her and throw her in the teleportation circle. Not wanting to touch her himself. And the cleric's like, okay. Nice meeting you.
Here's her hat and book.
A mage hand will be
Must be
summoned.
returned to her master.
Yes, whoever that is. And he like lunges at you almost as if he's like about to freak you out. Just as Acheron heads back to the ritual circle, undoubtedly those of the castle, at least Yonsei's bumming around in the castle. They're a night owl, surely. Yonsei, you will step down as you watch Hanny Flanagan and two strangers bamf out of reality. A light blinding you for half a second before all that is left is Snefru.
Hey, Snefru.
Yahtzee. Yeah. Pleasant evening.
Is it?
Of course it is. Hannigan Flanagan is off to get the care she needs.
Uh-huh. From the people that you said were gonna, like, kill us all for reasons.
You misquote me, Yonsei.
Ah, okay.
A bad trait for a bard. No.
Wow. Yeah. What did you call it then?
I said that if the demon threat was uncontained, that Livistio would be no more. But it is contained. And none of us could have helped Hannigan Flanagan with her simple mind.
Yeah.
And she will get the care she needs and eventually, I hope, be returned to normal.
Okay. So the people that were maybe going to kill all of us if we didn't fix our own problems came and got her and left.
You besmirch my great order.
Sneff, buddy, you gotta stop with the $10 words at fucking 2 a.m., man. I'm not.
Am I missing a pantry party?
I've been drinking since this time yesterday. You gotta understand, it's were they here or were they not? It's a yes or no question.
Of course they were here. I just explained.
Great.
They came to take Anakin
No,
back
when you if you over explain things, it makes it sound like you're lying.
Here, follow me to the pantry and I'll explain it all to you.
Okay, all right. I just need to let you know that you're not good at lying, Sneffer. I don't know if you know that. Did you lie to them?
I've never lied to you, Yonsei.
That's not the question. I see. This is the same thing. This is so suspicious. I asked you a question, and you didn't even answer it directly. Where's a cracker? Yonsei just starts eating crackers, and completely forgetting like everything else that happened. Just kind of goes onto a rant of like how to tell a lie. You know?
While Yonsei is giving you this rant, in your mind you will hear another sending message because Acheron overlooked. In 48 hours, you will be asked to go back to the teleportation circle so that you can be returned to Brimland. You are on a clock now, mister.
and he's drinking and hanging out with Yonsei in the pantry when this happens, and he's like, "Oh yes, that's an excellent point. Yes,
See, like that obvious, like there's something going on. You know, that's what we called like one of those. Like,
you've never been drinking and had it go down the wrong tube. I'm so sorry.
only if I heard something that didn't want to hear, but I don't know, like what about what I'm saying you don't want to hear?
You're an expert on gnomish anatomy. I see.
Well, you know, I've been with a couple gnomes before,
This
so
is
I'd
very
say I'm
reductive.
at least. I'm not
This is
an
very
expert,
reductive,
you
and
know, but I'm not a
as-
beginner. All right, I'd say I'm intermediate with gnome anatomy.
In our friendship, this is highly incongruent.
See, now you're changing the subject. But gnomes, did you know? And just like continue.
Snafu, it's 3 a.m. 47 hours remain. What do you do?
He starts writing letters in secret. Once he absconds and gets away from Yonsei.
Okay.
I fell asleep, like just in the pantry.
He in the next 48 hours he has a lot to do. He has to make a copy of his spell book and hide it.
Okay.
He has to make letters for all of his retinue that he will be soon departing. A letter for his good friend Marco. And then he has to prepare himself for an actual Arcane Inquisition. And possibly a summit of all the brims.
Snafu, your loyalty is 10. It's maxed out. Normally that is what you do, but a foreign thought comes into your head. A memory of recent history within the past...
My loyalty is 3.
Not your loyalty. What? Your subservience. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes, that's true.
Apologies. Servility. Your servility is 10. I remind the party that this servility specifically is to the prince. And then remind Snefru that in recent years, there has been an uptick of Brimish wizards leaving the order. In Divinus, there is a converted wizard who quit after divine evidence was shown that the creator, as they call it in Divinus, exists. And like any good wizard, he abandoned the order to study it. You remember that in the lands of Cortimus, when a kraken besieged the city, a heroic witch flew across when she wasn't supposed to and engaged the kraken in combat, fending it off before it retreated. You have heard tale of these Brimish wizards getting sponsorship in kingdoms, and when asked to return to a stifling, violent, oppressive order of wizards, they refused the call. Snefru, your servility is 10 to the prince. Is this in your nature, or because you see something within them? And I say prince, he's the king now, excuse me.
How dare you?
How dare I, the voice in your head?
With his servility 10, but his ambition also 10, he is torn halfway between wanting to go back to Brimland and rise through the ranks of the hierarchy and gain great power to return to Livistio. He's a great brown noser. He took the position before against many great competitors. If they want to send another a new court wizard, he is somewhat confident he could probably finagle that position to Livistio. So he's torn between his servility and his ambition, because this recent ordeal has shown him he needs much more power. He needs to gain a higher circle of magic.
I would note
So
the most development Snefru has had is in these past few months here.
That is true.
You've been trapped at a level 2 wizard for how long?
Like 20 years.
And then since January, it's June now, you're level what? 6, 7? Almost 7?
6. Yeah, almost 7. Almost 7, yeah.
What
Do
is
wizards
best?
see? I think it's an interesting, silly point, but narratively, do wizards see levels the same way? Like a fighter might be like, "Oh, I'm level 6 now, bitches," but do wizards only see spell levels? Are they like, "Look, I was spell like circle 2 before, now I'm spell circle 3." It really isn't that
kind of.
big a jump.
It's a huge jump. It's massive.
Yeah.
Being able to cast Fireball from fucking throwing fire bolts around. Like, there's nothing to sneeze at a 3rd level spell.
Fair.
Third
circle. This is true, but he worried. There's this deep-seated anxiety called the Archmage anxiety, and that if he doesn't return, they could hurt his friends here.
True. But do you know any
that's-
wizards who might be able to protect you from the Archmages?
I
Can
know
you
one
hide?
sorceress.
Behind somebody else's clout?
Oh, Ralph is terrified of Rian. That's why I wanted to meet her so bad. I think his first 15, 20 hours is him just like muttering to himself in his room. He summons Tove just to talk at Tove. Not to Tove, but talk at Tove about his problems and his concerns and try to make up his mind. Exactly. What is to do? He will send a message to Rian. And the message is about his concerns, his summons, and the Inquisition from Brimland, and how he is seeking to hide behind her.
She will remind you that once you leave the Brimish Order, you will never be given your hat back.
The kingdoms are more important than the hat. My friends that I've made here are more important than the hat. I've just won a war with my friends for these people. You know. And he'll send again. He goes, "Would you be willing to protect..." No. "Would you be willing to impose yourself on mine and the king's behalf?" It is a selfish request.
It is
A completely selfish request. Like any wizard, I am selfish. And like lots of wizards, I think that I have the best of intentions.
Don't we all? I would not do this for a friend, but I would do this for an apprentice. You may respond to this message.
I, Snefru, formerly of Brimland, place myself upon your mercy and beg to become your apprentice.
Your hat immediately begins to shrink. You need to take it off right now.
Take it off.
You take it off.
He throws the hat in the corner.
You throw it off in the corner, and now you realize you need to do something sinful to all wizards everywhere. You need to destroy a teleportation circle, Snefru, right now.
Yep. He's running to the dungeons.
Snefru,
He sees Yonsei on the way. He sees Yonsei on the way. Yonsei, I need to break a bridge.
Do you have a bolt gun? Oh! Hey!
Follow. This
I'm
must be
bringing the wine. I'm going.
It is 7:30. What do you mean? Please.
Drank all
there's a
night.
bridge.
From 2 a.m. to 7 in the morning.
I'm
Yonsei,
going.
you are asked to shatter a table as well as a floor that is beginning to light up ominously as a hit team of wizard assassins are coming to kill Snefru and take his hat back.
I don't even wait for him to explain. I see the glowing stuff and I'm just like, shatter.
You shatter the floor, and with a second
I
level
throw the wine
spell,
at it, like...
you undo years of work for someone who made this magic circle. This teleportation circle.
Then I
Yeah,
drag
my mom
her down
said
to
that about me when I was born.
Then I drag her to the sewers to break the other one.
That's the same one.
Oh, there's another one?
Oh, I thought there were 2 teleportation circles.
No.
Sam did imply there was a second one somewhere.
Yeah, but he never told anyone that. Or rather, told the location of. That's his teleportation circle, baby.
Correct.
That will be my next mission to find.
Snefru,
You don't want Sam to visit you at any point in time?
you are no longer appointed court wizard. You must now go to Glynis and tell him the news.
Snefru has just like hat-shaped hair.
That's
From
right.
wearing it
From
for
the
so long.
from the potion.
Yeah.
Oh no, the potion was dispelled, but
Oh,
it's just,
right,
he's worn his
right.
hat for so long that it's kind of grown in a kind of a pointy way.
It's a
And-
conical hair.
It's early in the morning. I don't think the prince has broken his fast yet when Snefru seeks an audience.
I will come to the door. I don't think that the king sleeps well. It has been a traumatic few months, easily woken by a knock. And hearing his nasally friend is more than happy to open the door. Snefru, come in. Have a seat. What brings you to my chambers at this hour? And I guess I'll close the door behind, because, like, I don't know, he's missing his hat. That's a little weird. This might be important. Maybe ears
And
need not hear.
he's sweating profusely.
Yeah, he's got big broken bridge energy, right? Like,
Your Majesty, I have come to you asking to be employed as a royal sorcerer. I have, as you can see, I have left my order, and have sought an apprenticeship with your aunt.
I see. I think Glynis sighs heavily and thinks for a moment. Says, "This puts me in an uncomfortable spot. Our country is vulnerable, likely to be required to take Brimish accompaniment as a show of good faith. But I, of course, could never turn back onto ally and friend. You will have a job or a place here, regardless of what's to come. There may be a need to play some politics. Another may come, hold a name, a title. Maybe not. We'll have to see what your decision brings for us. But no, you are one of the few allies I have had over these last few months, and I would call you friend. Your job here is secure, regardless of what's to come. Now, I'm gonna need a download. What happened? Also, do you need a home?
I would seek permission to erect a tower on the island. But that is something we can talk about. The download, as we have often called it, Your Majesty. The download is that Bremish wizards are falling out of favor and renouncing the order as a trend. And while the towers have great power, the hierarchy is flawed and ancient in the way they handle certain problems. And they questioned whether you were tainted by demons. And even though I insisted that no, you had been tempered in your ordeals, like a blade, they did not believe in you, your kingdom, or in my service to you. I did send them Hannigan Flanagan. I beseeched Yonsei to shatter your very, very precious teleportation circle, which I'd be more than happy to fix. It'll take time and resources, but I know I can do it. She relished in the task.
They are nothing if not all for bridge breaking. I cannot look. He's got many talents, but of the most impressive, Yonsei's ability to break bridges is unparalleled.
As is my ability to I can't lie as well as them, and I would not surrender myself upon them.
I would not have had you surrender yourself should they look to harm you. I think that would be unwise.
I would have been fine. I worried more for the rest of our friends with Bremish intrusion. I was quite good at, how does Yonsei put it, nosing the brown nosing? I believe I would
couldn't
have
tell
been
at
fine.
all. You just seem like such a genuine person.
I know. And I beseeched Rien to take me in as her apprentice, and she acquiesced. I must tell you, when they broke the feeble-minded enchantment on Hannigan Flanagan, she cried about some sort of demonic truth, something the demons were running from. And that terrified the Inquisitor, which might not mean a lot to you, but I've never heard of an Inquisitor being terrified. Thus, I found it more
probably
prudent.
kicked her in the jaw for emphasis.
He broke her jaw into pieces, several pieces. It was quite violent. Which again is part of the stoic and hardened hierarchy of the towers.
Well, I appreciate this information. I am interested to know what that thread would unravel, but my attention must be other places for now. I'm going to have need of someone in the future. You no longer tied to the Bremish. Someday soon, I will have to retrieve the blade in the swamp. And when I do, we will need to find a way to break it. Either myself or my sister will be hurt by it. When that comes, I'm going to need you to talk to Sam for me. He might be, well, he and his friends might be the only ones that can get this done properly. Will you do that for me? Are you comfortable making, at a best a flimsy alliance with a probable demon.
Anything for you, sire. And for Livistio.
Very well. Welcome aboard. We'll talk about this tower thing. Towers are expensive, man.
I have a way to make it where I need a spot, I'll measure it, I'll rope it off. I have to do it every day for a year.
Okay, well.
But I can build my own tower.
If you can build things like that, have a chat with Dizem. He might need some help with a floating, altar. Anyway. Do you want some cheese? I'm feeling hungry all of a sudden.
Pantry? Pantry party?
Pantry party.
You guys go and enjoy your pantry party. Glynis hand-waving a lot. You will be sent a message, we'll call it, effectively demanding the return of Snefru, or to make your position clear that you do not wish any Brimish help in the future ever.
So I get this via letter, or
No.
via brain blast.
Brain blast for sure.
So I get 32 words, or 20 words.
25.
25 words. Thank you. I don't know where I got 32 from.
Base 8 number system. Been playing Minecraft recently.
It is not my place to interfere with the apprentice of a archmage. You will have to ask Rien if you want him back. Also, he's my friend. Feel free to talk more if you'd like. Peace sign.
Heart emoji.
Heart
Incredibly
emoji.
reasonable, and also that awe comes through the tele. Aw, that's so adorable. Friendship, guys. I need to denote your response.
Might have gone over 20 words.
Peace sign definitely carried you over, but
Yeah, that's fair.
How funny would it have been, Sneffer, if you did all this shit and then he's just like, yeah, take him.
He could have. He's the king.
That's funny.
And Snefru would have escaped the towers, one way or another.
Indeed. And or died. Let us move on to the last two things. Three things, fuck. Well,
We got
no, we
time.
broke the warranty.
the warranty.
Zephyr, do you need that hat anymore?
I destroyed it.
Oh, I was gonna see what happens when you boil it.
It becomes a monster and attacks. Trust me.
You gotta stop boiling things, man.
Yeah.
I gotta start boiling more things.
How? No, wrong answer.
I'm just
My
gonna
answer.
food arrive when you boil it.
In the
Let's find
pantry
out.
party that precedes the Snefru no longer being a wizard, but now being a quote-unquote sorcerer, an emissary will arrive 3 days after that debacle. On the 7th of June, a winged beast flies over Livistio. This is reported to the king at first, of like, oh fuck, there's a goddamn dragon. What do we do? Someone cast fly. So they grab Snapper. Cast fly on me. I will hunt this dragon. But none of that is
Why don't they have a
needed as
permit
it
for that? Do they have a
circles
permit to
over
fly?
your castle.
Who owns the air rights?
Air rights are for things that can fly. Who gives a shit?
Damn. Get fucked.
We're
I guess.
gonna have to increase our like kingdom's like dominance over the air here, airships, like so we can tax the flying beasts. You know, make sure they're
Attack the
licensed.
flying beast.
You have your license.
You're gonna pay so much gold. Platinum.
Land.
Are you? Is this flying vehicle registered?
It's not a vehicle. It's a.
I'm sorry, Bahamut. I don't see where you have your license. We're gonna have to ask you to land. We're gonna give you a fee.
I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm traveling.
Do you have your paperwork for that?
As this creature, as you guys make jokes about a flying creature just going over the sky, some of you say, oh, it's probably just a bird, no big deal. You will all hear in Livistio a screeching, bellowing out that sounds vaguely like a dragon. You will turn your attention out of windows and see that a great beast indeed is flapping its wings over your castle. And then, with a hup and a hop, a person jumps off. Landing. Upon there, what do you call it? I suppose he is holding a lance, which is kind of cool. This is way too soft and sad. This is supposed to be exciting, guys. What the fuck?
I'm ready to shatter this fucking beast, by the way. You just tell me. Give me the word.
The beast is indeed a wyvern. A great big scaled dragonoid, we'll call it. Barbed tail, leaking venom, flying with wings, and you see that landing upon the ground, an athletically built, silk-wearing emissary,
Dibs.
wielding lance in hand, calls out to your court immediately. Ho! Who here?
Hey!
Oh, nice to meet you. He
Hey, nice to
offers
meet
you
you.
to come over, as he calls you.
I'll come over.
You see this
that real silk?
albino-haired, young old person, like young old person.
He's like
With-
at least 25, right?
Yeah, how old are we talking about?
He's anywhere between 25 to 55 years old. You're unsure.
That's okay, that's my age range. Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, that
Makes
works.
great opportunity then. He also has soft eyes, Yonsei, that immediately speak to
Love
your
it.
soul.
Right.
As this lance wielder calls out, I have need to speak with the king of Livistio. Does he take fly-ins?
I do.
Yeah, we can fit those in.
I guess I walk out. I'm like, normally fly-ins by appointment only, but you happen to arrive on my lunch hour.
I don't mean to interrupt your lunch hour. If you are indeed
You can interrupt my
king,
lunch hour anytime. Go ahead.
Is that a crown on your head, I see? What a lovely crown. Not clown, he says, looking at Yonsei briefly. Maybe clown? What are you, exactly? Can we speak later, after? I'm interested, but I'm on business. I'm working. Apologies, your highness. My name is Walter, the Moonstone General of the Empire of Cortimus. Nice to meet you. I'm kind of a big
It's a pleasure
shot
to
down
meet you.
south.
A lot of names, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Apologies.
it is an honor to make your acquaintance, good sir.
Yes.
Would you like to
Oh, yeah.
come
go
and sit in the court? Perhaps shouting across the parapet is a bit gauche.
I can come in, but I can't sit down. I have a really bad left knee. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no worries.
Thank you. And he will walk into your castle, sort of weirdly enough.
Yeah, I mean, like we treat our guests right. We'll go sit in like a common room or like bring them before the court or whatever.
Oh man,
Hang
you're
out,
having like
yeah.
nostalgic flashbacks to the parlor with your dad. As you speak with a foreign dignitary named Walter, the Moonstone General of the 6 great generals of the Cortimus Empire. He
Real
will
long
speak. Assumedly, Ursale's back from his honeymoon by now, if he wishes to be a part of this. After all, great
He's not
beasts
allowed.
threatening the airspace. No.
Yeah, maybe I was outside the city when it showed up, but
He got here in
for
a
sure
flash.
making one.
Great
The
beast!
dust trail shows Asami is coming.
He just bursts through the parlor door like Kramer, just "Bah!"
Or like the 30 minutes of introductions are over, or Saleh shows up.
Yeah.
Finally, we can get to business. All the characters are here. This guy checks his notes real quick as he pulls out a notepad. I'm here on behalf of Ramus Prodeus III of the Cortimus Empire, current emperor of the Cortimus Empire, and he wishes to congratulate you, Your Highness. He only just heard about your ascent to the throne, and also made sure you weren't some demonic influence. And then he heard you're an enemy of Brimland in the making, and he thinks there is a great path to true friendship between you and he.
Friends are welcome these days.
Oh, perfect.
Appreciate hearing that. You will have to forgive me. I have only read of Cortimus in books. I have very little dealings with them myself, unfortunately.
They are quite far, and we don't blame you. There are a whole ocean away, which you're not even really connected to, since Bolia owns all of the harbors that could connect you to the sea. And there are two kingdoms. One is a theological diktat, who are filled with the murderers, psychopaths, and paladins. Fuck paladins, am I right? And also a civil warring eagle nation, which is been at war for the past, 2 decades. So, he understands. He's a very empathetic emperor, my emperor. Ramus
a noble trait.
Yes. He does, however, wish to send not just words of friendship, but actual tangible help. Part of his researching into your country's needs, he's realized your roads are shit, and he is a road builder. He's actually famed for building roads. You can check that out in the demographics page in the PDFs if you remember to read them.
Indeed. That would be a great help for our country. I must ask, as it seems everyone these days, what would your emperor expect in return for this gift?
Literally nothing. Yeah. Let us say that he has designs on old territories that once belonged to him, then, his family, and then separated from the Empire under tenuous circumstances at best. It was a hell of a century ago. But your nation, I wish to quickly put in front, is not a part of that claim. Your nation came after the whole Elven Protectorate debacle. So he sees no desire to yours.
I must insist for a history lesson here, however. You will know that my interests lie beyond just the borders of my kingdom.
Yes, of course. What do you wish me to inform you
of? Let's talk about the claimants of the empire. What are the borders that he wishes to influence?
As my map loads in, he will explain that. Come on, you can do it. There we go. The land between the Cortimus Empire and the Republic of Bulgaria is currently entirely free settlements. In the past, this entire region used to be a contiguous land, what do we call it? Not Capioma.
I'll be right back. Someone's ringing my doorbell.
Good luck.
Alright.
Don't die.
What I have roughly traced out is what the Eldar Protectorate used to be in a contiguous nation. And ever since their fall and shattering a century ago, Chevrolet, this territory was just outright abandoned and then taken over by fucking weird creator worshippers. And Bulia, as well as Zwan, was like an allied state, so he doesn't really have interest in Zwan either. But Bulia, he has great interest in, specifically their capital city, which was once a education or university city back in the good old days, as he puts it. Effectively, Buyi is a shithole filled with murdering psychopathic nobles who all think that they're a duke or archduke of some stupid claim, and the emperor wants to put them in their place and reincorporate his old territories back into the nation. Livistio, you will remember from weeks and weeks ago, Livistio did not exist during the Eldar Protectorate's reign. It was just a wild hinterland and river valley that was dedicated to bears and bear worshippers. And Livistio himself sort of cut a deal with that goddess to allow the nation to be, which Valter says he has no interest in. Keep to your bears, keep to your river. But in the future, you know, when we actually are able to open up a true designated land route, your two nations could be best of friends.
I take this in and I think, and I tell this man, I appreciate your Emperor's generosity, and I understand the claims that you are making. I want you to know the Republic of Belia, though wild and untamed, is our most important trade partner at the time being. And while trade with you would be maybe preferable in some ways, perhaps even as beneficial, it cannot be done in any meaningful time period for our country. I cannot outright support Cortimus and his claim and their claims to Belia in a way that would put us in a way that would disrupt our ability to trade. I hope your emperor would understand this predicament. I have a bone to pick with Divinus, and I know little of Chevrolet, but the free territories, I would not oppose your Emperor's claims to in any way, and perhaps we could foster such a friendlier agreement in the future.
Let me be more blunt with my speech now that the history lesson is over and I've heard what you said. He offers to send architects into your kingdom to help build roads that were equal to or greater than the Eldar Protectorate's heyday. This would be a monumental project, and he understands chances are he will not see its completion in his own lifetime, let alone mine. Regardless, he wishes to start that project to connect the scattered and warring nations with an economy that isn't or a transportation lane that isn't dependent on river barges and sea lanes. So keep your trade agreements with Belia. We have no intent or aim to invade them in the near future. We just want to get this ball rolling for effectively a non-aggression pact.
I will happily accept this kind offer from Cortimus.
Fantastic.
I want you to understand, though, the egos of men are oftentimes more fragile than you might expect. And Belia may see this differently than you and I.
Yes, but they are currently murdering each other to see who gets to wear the biggest hat. And I don't think they'll notice right now.
Can we get all this in writing?
Yes.
Before
of
we
course.
make any sort of verbal agreements, I just want it to be known that in Livistio we're educated in like the sign papers.
You like to sign papers?
Love it. Love to sign papers that
Absol
have
shakes
words
his
written
head.
on them that clearly and definitely define the responsibilities of both parties within an agreement.
Well,
In that,
if you wish
Livistio
to,
and Cordemus is the same.
I have in my possession, and he massive tree scroll. You look it over. It is almost, what do we call this? I don't want to call it bog standard non-aggression pact, but it effectively is a we will not engage on any claims or territories that you have access to.
We unroll like a big bamboo scroll, like in Elvish, and just compare. And it's like, damn! It's like line for line was the one.
Yeah, exactly. There are
The long one, there's the marriage pacts. Do we have to marry anyone?
so no, you don't have to marry
single.
anyone. But there are assurances that you need to make to ensure the security of the architects, as well as to help supply the labor. They can stipend that if you need actual money to pay for labor. They don't particularly care. They're willing to literally pay for your end of the highway up to your borders, and then they're going to effectively do the rest.
I'm all about building the Silk Road. My thought process about helping to rebuild the country was essentially to create the Livistio New Deal and build a bunch of roads with government issued jobs so that we could then tax everyone for that. Right? It just putting jobs into the country via infrastructure was my plan because I'm unoriginal. But anyway, this is up Glynis's alley, super hard. And I think that the Red Blade would probably be up for this, right? I think that I could find her an ability to get the protection for these architects and you know, building up the roads and securing them was a A1 priority for her. And I feel like I have an ally ready to make this happen. Glynis looks this over and is if that's the stipulation, he's yep. Love it.
There
I'm
is
on it.
Let's call it it's not even a loophole. It's honestly, Walter believes it is fair, but effectively the road's expecting to be, rather the investment of the road is expecting to be paid back by those who use it through toll systems that go back to Cordemus, but are collected by you, and after that initial investment is paid off, you're free to tax the hell out of it. It's up to you to keep it maintained, so of course you're going to tax it. It's not going to... what do you call it? They're willing to work something out on a financial level of getting the thing paid for without it just being a hit sheerly to the Cordemus Empire.
Right.
But if you're down for it, if you're down to start what is effectively going to be a 20-year road construction project, now is the time to sign away. And
he's
also...
essentially giving me the funding to do the thing I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
And I understand the idea of paying back money up front, right? This is called
There's
deficit
not
spend.
an interest rate, is there? Is this just direct 1-to-1?
It's direct 1-to-1. Gold does not inflate in fantasy worlds.
Great.
Yeah, this is deficit spending at its finest, right? Deficit spend for infrastructure.
Perfect for the country.
Yeah. Honestly, could not have a more perfect option here.
We
It
can get
feels
people jobs
yeah,
that they will pay for, which will also boost our economy.
Yeah.
It's a
this
crazy
feels
good deal.
It feels
Yes.
like a crazy good deal, which may be a future ordeal, but at the moment is what we're looking for, right?
Just to
There is
clarify
no
with him,
fine print. Yonsei gets out the magnifying glass.
What's up, Dragonborn?
so this is to get less trade, in the future, once it's done, less trade on the ocean and rivers.
Our hope is Buia won't exist, either from actual political collapse that they inflict on themselves, and we can just sort of sweep on in there and just reclaim our civilization that sort of went haywire in a century of non-stop conflict and bloodshed. That's our, like, the ideal situation where they just sort of self-destruct and then we come in and rebuild. And in that case, you know, you're still trading with the same guys, just with new management, right? I forget the other half of your stipulation. What was that? Something about?
I was asking, like, just your planets have like less river and ocean trading to like cause the implosion of the lead.
I mean, it's gonna happen no matter what, but like, you know, once a road's built. Okay, have you seen this country's roads, guys? I mean, can you imagine trying to get like an actual wagon train across, like, non-stop dirt roads, hills, flooded ground? Like, I'm not gonna lie.
We are aware. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, like, imagine, oh, limestone, concrete. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. You're gonna have way stations, resting posts, forts. Have as many forts as you want. Toll the shit out of all the bridges. We don't care. Just, you know, get trade flowing again outside of just the one river you guys have, which paladins have almost seized from you, and to my understanding caused a massive chain of events that led to demons invading your country.
Yeah, I think this is a great deal. I wouldn't look too much further into it. There's probably nothing bad about this at all.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, Dyson. General, I think what my court here is saying is your deal, your gift, is a blessing to our country. And we accept it readily. Thank you for your investment.
Hey, here's to hoping we can be, like, friends in the future.
Here, here. Can you drink and fly?
I am not even sober right now.
Perfect. Would you? Can I offer you some wine?
Yeah.
I will seal the deal over a like Sauvignon Blanc or something.
All right. He likes you. Now, once you guys are, like, done with business, he's gonna get a little bit tipsy, Walter is, and he's gonna be like, Ramus. I call him Ramus because he doesn't give a shit. But Ramus is when he started to look up what was going on with your country, he's like, man, this guy just stole my origin story. He's like, Dad had to kill him because he's evil as fuck. Had to stop an invading army of fucking backwards, technological, not swamp people. What are the Neordians? Like fucking plains people? What losers. They don't even have cavalry. They live on the plains? Are you kidding me? Oh, but he was like, oh, such kindred spirits. You know, he's 1/4 Elven. You're like half Elven, right? Maybe there's some weird lineage. Maybe you guys are like cousins or something. Wouldn't that be cool?
I seem to be gaining cousins by the day.
Well, are any of them your friends?
Yes. This here is Yancey.
Nice
They
to
have
meet
been
you,
my
Yancey.
cousin all my life.
I've been your cousin the whole time.
Yeah, and this is Osale. He became my cousin like last month.
Step
With a
cousin.
big bear paw.
So what the fuck are you, man?
A monster. He's a stepfather. That's what he is.
Oh, he's a stepfather. He's not even a real cousin. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Nothing
you. Your
personal for
condolences,
variance, I suppose, but like, you know what I mean.
For
As I said.
clarification, me and the wizard are not related to any of them.
You're
Any
not.
relation.
There's
The
such a
wizard
family
is-
resemblance.
However,
I know.
the wizard is currently apprenticing under my aunt. So
Yeah, but
Almost
you're the
a cousin.
wizard.
Previous wizard? Yes, I'm the wizard.
Oh my god, you know, we have one too who quit the order like 2 years ago when she summoned a sea god to fight a kraken. That was some sick shit, man. We all thought Cortimus was just going under the waves. And then she flew in, broke order. She's like, I can't let these people... And he, like, does a weird impression. Like, I can't let these people die. These are my wards. I am a defender. It doesn't matter if it's a normal terrestrial entity. I have to stop it. And then she was, like, spoke crazy words of power. I was, like, 100 feet away from her, like, fighting a weird tentacle that was trying to, like, kill my mount. And I was like, oh, we gotta stop this thing. And she was like, yeah, let me show you how. And then she created a fucking maelstrom in the ocean. It was intense. It was insane. I saw a face in the ocean, and it blew me a kiss. I'm like, Ordina, elemental lord of water, you're beautiful. And she was like, oh, no, you, Walter. And then she punched the Kraken in the head and took it to a deeper sea. It was crazy.
Someone wrote an alternate history to this that ended a lot differently, by the way. You wanna read that book?
No, I did. He high fives Beyonce. Bam! Walter's a bro, guys. He's just hanging out, big chillin'. He'll never explain why he's called the Moonstone General, but you know, it's just his name. He'll tell you it's because of his hair and that he flies around.
He's moonstoned.
Oh, got him.
Ooh.
But yeah, he is telegraphing the hopes that your two countries will effectively not be giant assholes and contribute to the ongoing bloodshed of this continent.
That general vibe is like up Glynis's alley, even though he knows he's probably gonna have to fight a few wars here.
Yeah,
He's got some paladins that probably need killing, and there's a non-zero chance that Njord's gonna have some problems, but like...
They may be one and the same soon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Guys, Walter will fly out, blackout drunk, but say, don't worry, he knows his way back. He'll be fine. The Wyvern will come to pick him up. This Wyvern is quite large, too. Bordering size huge. This thing is massive and chonky. And Ursula, you can't help but feel like a primal desire to fight this thing. You nod your head because I know you. All right. And when Walter flies away, a few days will pass before the final emissary will arrive that we need to hit up on. Her name you know, her image you have seen before, albeit wearing ranger clothing. You will see Sephron Malrote suddenly appear inside of your castle one day, having climbed the wall with spider climb, and walking around as guards, especially Sir Morrison, are like, who the hell are you? What are you doing here? You're the worst assassin in the world. And Sephron's like, I need to see
Sir Morrison, worry not. This is an old friend. Perhaps you might remember the name Sephron Malro.
Morrison draws his sword. He'll just strike her down. Devil! He cries out.
Wait.
We restrain him and give the like, no, that was an imposter. This is the real one.
Like, God, I'm in a headlock, but I'm like flailing everywhere.
Beyonce, we need to teach you how to strangle a man. He sheathes his sword.
I only
once
know
more
how to
the
do it in
culture is
Reddit.
Now that I'm your
strangulation.
father, this is my duty.
I know how to do asphyxiation. You know what I mean? Hey, Morrison?
Jesus
I
Christ.
say while on his back.
As you guys have a humorous scene at Sir Morrison's expense, Sephron Malrote literally, like, grovels before you, slamming her head into the tiles of your castle. And she...
Oh, please don't.
Please don't. Is that what you said?
Please
No,
don't. We just cleaned those.
Beyonce says that, and like Glynis agrees with it. Glynis like
Yeah.
kneels down and like asks her to like stand. She says,
I
"You
refuse.
need not."
I must beg you for your pardon. Please don't kill my
Give him a
dad.
Pillow? Like,
Severin,
Yes?
I'm going to have to ask that we have this conversation elsewhere. Come with me.
Can I grovel my way there?
I
If
can
you
like.
must.
I will levitate you so you can grovel as we travel. Let's
Please
go.
I was
do.
gonna suggest water walking and just like moving her on a like weird puddle of water, but that also works a lot better.
Snafu, she locks her body in what is effectively a dogaza, like the Japanese ritual fucking grovel. As you levitate her and then push her forward to the room and then lower her back down so she is not moved. This
It seemed important
sign
to her.
of ultimate.
you meow at me, so
prostration.
you're being hurt. And then you don't even want to say hello to me.
Your cat cannot understand your words, Hen, but we can. Promise.
They don't understand words, but I have found animals understand tone.
Mhm.
Right? Whatever you're saying to them, you convey a
Yeah.
message.
If I
through
say her
just,
name like she did something wrong, she'll start feeling guilty. Pepper!
Yeah.
She looked at me. She's like, what?
The creature, Zephyrin Malro, will now in the privacy of your entire court, will beg
Well,
you-
I mean, it's the party, probably not Priya. I don't think we have any additional court members yet.
Okay.
Not that I don't trust the new cleric. It's just that like this is fairly sensitive. The party knows things that other
She's not in
people
the
don't.
inner circle yet.
Pia
Not
is
in the
there
inner
when
circle.
you
Building.
summon her. She is not in your castle milling about.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, you said before the entire court, and we made it clear that she was part
Yeah,
of that
you
earlier.
guys.
So I was.
You guys are the court.
I
I'm
was-
sorry if that wasn't clear.
Okay.
You're the
Yeah,
court.
yeah.
Your Highness,
Fair.
you're the
Chief
court.
Advisor,
now.
thank you very much.
You are the
I-
court. You're the king.
I am the court.
I am Livistio.
I am.
She once again begs you, please call off your grandfather. He is getting closer and closer to my father by the day. He is still seeking out Smiling Sam.
I see. I had hoped that he would give up the chase on his own
Yes,
accord. I see. Severin, you need not grovel here before me. Sam is a friend at the least, and I will have need of him in the future. I will see what I can do about grandfather. If you have time, I would like to have some questions answered, though.
I can answer things. Please don't kill him.
It is not my intention to have your father killed.
Okay? Can you call off your grandpa before he turns my dad into a sword?
Calling off King Zuan is difficult. We might be best to mislead him.
Can you mislead him then?
We need information first.
Okay.
Is good old Sammy Sam still demon shaped?
Yeah. He can't figure out
How's
how to
he
go
doing in
back to
that
being an
regard?
elf.
Great. Love that for him. Is he of his own mind?
Yeah, now he is. He was kind of, you know, when you guys showed up, he still wasn't. He was still kind of in a blur, but now it's all coming back to him.
All right. Sneferu, would you please inform grandfather that I need to speak with him? And I would appreciate his return to the castle forthwith.
Was gonna say maybe we should ask Auntie Rianne if she knows how to turn him back into elf shape.
I do not believe involving the royal family of Zuan is a great idea if we value the life of Sam.
Yeah, Master Ian also hates demons.
Perhaps
Sort
we
of.
could make that question to her clandestinely, or through our apprentice here. But I fear that a connection to the demon hunters would cloud that answer.
Can I speak candidly, Your Highness?
Of course.
I feel like a face-to-face meeting with Lord Zawan. He seems to be quite insightful and hard to deceive. Maybe a simple message. A ranger, a local ranger, has spotted some sort of demonic presence in the opposite direction.
Maybe towards Divins.
Yeah, I've never been able to lie to him effectively, so.
But I will summon him if you wish. So it will take him some time to get here, I assume.
I assume as well, though he could just kind of pop in here. It seems people have the ability to move quite fast sometimes. Do you think it wise to deceive him, Yancey? That is, you are, of course, the most familiar with the Court of Zawan.
I don't think it's a long-term solution, and it is, like, you know, there's a chance that it won't work, because he'll be like, oh, this is a double bluff. You know, I'm being told he's over here, when actually he's over here, so actually I'm heading in the right direction, so actually I'm going to go in this direction even more. You know, sometimes he thinks like that.
A more permanent solution, although not the greatest, would be having Sam leave the continent.
But if there wasn't a guy on a flying fucking carpet in his general
I want
vicinity.
him where he is, Saffron. As I said, I may have need of him. And I'd consider him at least a friend.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that you can really do to distract Grandpa at this point is to come up with another bigger threat.
That's a great idea.
It's a terrible idea.
It's a great idea.
If the threat's not real, he'll know it wasn't. If the threat is real, now we're dabbling in demons, and now he's going to come and kill us.
Well, it's actually not a bad idea. We do know that there's a upheaval in the demonic plane.
Yeah, did
There's some
Stefan
context.
tell us about what happened? Like what Annie said?
Yeah, Pantry Party. I downloaded you.
Got it. So we know that demons are currently scared of something.
Mhm.
Oh, should we give him that?
And so, if we tell him that, like, maybe holding the border is a little bit more important right now, as there might be a giant push of demons.
I think
Towards
that is a
the
perfect
border again.
solution.
Okay.
Snefru, would you
Mhm.
please give Grandfather the word that I would like to speak with him, and if he would please return to the castle forthwith.
Can
As you wish.
John jump in to
Maybe what's
assist
her
the
name should
party?
not be here when he gets here.
What's up, John?
Star?
You also recently received a letter talking about demonic activity that I would like to remind the party of.
That is happening in Yord.
Uh-huh.
So we know that demons are scared. Coming south. Yord's having a huge problem with it. He might want to focus on...
I'm
Dealing
going
with
to
Yord's
insinuate
demons.
that there's demon activity that we know for a fact in New York. I'm going to tell him of the words of the mage, and I'm going to say that if there's demon activity there, it must be the beast he seeks.
I'm going to point to the groveling lady. She should not be here when he gets here. She needs to be gone. And no one can mention that she was here.
Mention what?
Exactly.
Suffering
I'll-
is but a simple elven ranger.
I will send a
Saffron-
message to Lord Flynn.
She hides her horns
Yeah.
and tail. Yes, I am Elvin. What?
We just need to get you like a big hat
Or
and then,
tiefling.
like a long cloak.
You are half elven, I am sure. Or...
Yep. Yes,
I'm just
There we
saying,
go.
like, he's like paranoia is.
I can
you know,
hide.
I would be happy for you to hide here in the castle, if you would. I still would like to understand the history of you and Sam and your people, and I unfortunately cannot ask him myself
Yet.
yet.
She will hide, and for brevity, since we are kind of running low on time here, we only have 24 minutes. I want to stick to the answers. Who will be lying to Grandpapa or misleading Grandpapa?
Me.
Alrighty. You will undoubtedly be bardically inspired by Yonsei. You will have advantage for having a letter that already talks about demon activity, which you likely would not have gotten unless you were, or if you had been, more of a brutish, tyrannical thug. You have at least advantage from somebody else. Probably like all your party members working together to sell this lie. So I'm going to say you're going to have advantage +5 to this. As though someone was
and the
passively
ass slap.
And the ass slap,
Okay.
yes.
The ass slap of truth.
And you would like me to roll deception, I am hearing in your intimations? That's a crit 22, +5 is 27, plus a d8, 5. So there's a 32 in total.
Look,
Yes, I
Pivotal
do.
moment. This has always been the thing of you guys just succeeding because the dice want you to. It's very much like
Look.
these guys rolled like shit in their stats. Let's make them just roll like gods constantly. He will roll a 16 to be deceived, which means on the nat 20, or rather his insight, I should say, you will surpass him quite readily. And as Grandpapa places a hand on your shoulder, he will tell you, I'm doing this for your sister as well as your family, my family. So, if you're lying to me, I'm gonna be sad. But, you know, this is probably over there. It's a fucking demon territory. If you see him, though,
That's what
you gotta tell me. I gotta know where Smiling Sam is. Good of the realm.
I understand.
All that stuff.
I understand, Grandfather.
Indeed.
I've summoned you here to give you the information I had.
Yeah.
I am sure you will do the right thing with it.
You wouldn't ever shelter an archfiend. That'd be the greatest hubris known to man. Sure, seriously.
My father consorted with demons and was put to the blade for it by my own hand. Do you
True.
think that I would do the same mistake?
I hope not. History has a horrible happening of repeating itself. But with
have
Ursale
a
here,
theory.
my new son-in-law, he slaps Ursale on the back. There's no way he, a devoted member of a primal god, would ever allow for extraterrestrial invaders, as well as Snefru, a Brimish wizard dedicated to keeping demons out of our world. Oh, there's no way. I like the hair, Snefru. He says nothing of
Thank you.
Dysum nor Yonsei. He leaves.
It's like frowning in the corner.
Yeah.
God, it's so cool not having any responsibilities.
I
I'm not related to this family in any way, shape, or form.
30 minutes
Easy
later,
going.
you will find Saffron, who has hidden herself with Pass Without a Trace, in your rafters. You didn't even know that she was up there, like, overseeing the meeting as it's occurring. Her stealth is so high, guys. But, alright.
I don't know if you want to have us sit and question Sephrin, but I am interested in having her answer the story of Smiling Sam. I want the truth of what's going on and all of that as best as she knows it.
I can do out of character until anyone feels the need to jump in character, and then I can continue from there. Sound
Okay.
good?
Mhm.
Sounds good.
All right, Smiling Sam showed up as an elven servant to her grandmother, which you all met inside of the Elven Palace, back in the Eldar Protectorate's capital, which is now Cortimus. At first, he was kind of like a weirdo lunatic who was sort of down on his luck, and then, after being taken in as an actual servant, he began to show off his more demonic properties, which they thought was just like warlock shenanigans. And then when it turned out he was like a greater demon, they were like, oh, are you gonna kill us? And he's like, no, I'm kind of running away from my boss. And at some point during the collapse of the Cortimus Empire, when everyone else was like getting cursed, getting obliterated by a solar cannon from a floating island of phoenix worshipping elves, being cursed genetically by magic and becoming the first dark elves, Smiling Sam sheltered her family, their servants, all of their people, protected them from a solar cannon, teleported them effectively to safety, which was from into the palace, from a second age elven retreat, effectively. That effectively went and safaried primal gods back when the elven hubris was much higher and less or more magical, I suppose. He sheltered them and repeatedly like helped out the elves who were afflicted by the Sindar Eye. Smiling Sam was known as effectively as a benevolent weirdo traveler, or a super high level guy who just found it fun to be a servant on the public face. And then when shit went down, he more revealed his powers over and over, and kind of got into a relationship with Grandma, and thus Sephron popped out eventually down the line. So she calls him her father. She didn't actually know her real father, and Smiling Sam raised her in part. But 80-ish years or so ago, he got ensorcelled, started moving to Livistio back and forth, and stayed in Livistio much longer, and would periodically come back. And then he'd be away for like 15 years at a time, and Sephron's like, what the fuck? Where are you? And when he showed up with you guys, he had been missing for around 12 to 13 years. When, you know, from what they've pieced together, his old boss, or their henchman, found him, recommitted him to the demonic cause, as it were, and then had him do stuff, but the tie, or the self-deception, she thinks it is, managed to convince him. The demon convinced itself it was an actual elf, which asked for vacation days from his boss, we thought was a human. There's some, like, layers and layers on trickery that Sephron is still plotting through right now. So she doesn't know.
I understand.
Go for it.
I understand the complications of the many masks men wear. I have had to sort them through myself recently. I thank you for your story.
A lot of lies. I have no clue at all what's going on.
I am sure. I thank you for your honesty in telling us this. It will be a fraught and difficult time, I am sure. But I will call upon Sam in the future, and you will be safe in my kingdom until such time that you see fit to either leave it or I lose it to someone stronger. But no, I will not slay your father. He is safe here.
Persale's eyebrow raises.
However, I don't think he should like come here for a while. Just saying.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I am eternally grateful for your mercy. He needs help. He is far kinder than what you know him as.
He was doing pretty alright there at the end.
Yes, well, he was throwing lightning bolts around, and that's not something he normally does.
Yeah.
But he did run when faced with the opportunity for slaughter. So
She nods.
it's unfiendish behavior.
Look, I bet on that guy a long time ago to win. So far, he's winning. I have my full faith in that guy.
With a strange positive note, you guys show clemency, or at least mercy, or non-aggression towards Smiling Sam, who is now an admitted fiend, or devil. On a reality check, guys, your entire campaign thus far is getting rid of demons. How does it feel? That gentle hypocrisy now.
Well, he's cool, so
Eisen doesn't give a shit.
I mean, it wasn't really getting rid of demons until here at the very end.
It's been pretty get rid of demonsy though.
It's like session 4.
look, we weren't getting rid of demons. We were getting rid of dicks. Okay.
The way
They're all
the way I see it is Sam is the only one that might have to go, and there is a future in which I'm going to tell him to leave, like somewhere else. But I need him because I think him and his Book of Swords and his powers might be the only thing that can undo this contract without fucking up my sister. And I need to get that sword, and I need to get that sorted out. So he's safe until I figure.
Sword it out.
Oh, you were the Discord made that a little robotic, and I was very confused.
Oh god.
So I don't know. Glynis sees a future. He sees these people as like victims, so and like they're like half elves that have been cursed, essentially. Like he thinks they don't deserve to get killed by grandfather. Sam he sees as like potentially somebody that needs to go away and hide. He's not going to kill him. He was a friend or an ally, but he's not. There's a universe where Sam, after we like fix the problems of Livistio, gets asked to leave, right? Like I don't think Glynis is going to like be buddy with Sam, but he's earned at least not getting put to the sword immediately.
Beyonce thinks that Sam should be killed in a way that does not send the demon back to hell, which I think is through
Being turned
like
into a
divine.
sword.
Being turned into a sword.
Yeah.
So
Not
Yancey's
great
actually
either.
with Grandpa 100% then.
A little bit. He is flight risk. There is a possibility that he can be ensorcelled again, and we'll have to go through this whole thing again. Like there is a risk to it. And Yancey, unlike Glynis, did spend a lot of their life growing up surrounded by demon hunters. And so always at the very back of their mind is like, this is a demon. Demon needs to die. Demon can't demon. But Sam was cool. So for now, as long as Sam stays cool, we're good.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ursula is very worried about some of the happenings here. We've brought this Pia character into the court, who has some kind of strange new god. Strange, maybe not new, but at the very least obscure, right? God. And then we're now explicitly talking about, like, dealing with demons, right? Yeah, sure. Smiling Sam has by all accounts asked very little of us and helped us. So from that perspective, I think Ursula is okay with not sending Grandpa immediately after him. But trying to work with a demon, it just feels to Ursale, and he'd probably share this with Clintus, like he's going down a little bit too much of the road of his father, and he's very worried about that.
It is a dark road to walk.
Linus has one thing that Gilmore never had. He has someone to slap his butt when he does things wrong.
Yeah, Johan was really bad at his job.
He was. I understand your fear, Sally, and your concern, and I appreciate your clemency.
But I mean, if you think about it, Sally, there's some people out there that don't even know what a bear is. So
it's true.
Sad life for them.
Yeah.
It is. It is a dark road to walk, though, that I must for a while. The sword of my grandfather still rests in the swamps. My sister or myself still face the potential curse of the demons. And until those are done, I cannot exhaust the options in front of me without looking them through.
As you say that, Glynis, narratively, there comes a knocking at the door.
Both a raven nevermore.
Kind of.
We're not home.
Yonsei! Johan calls out. Open the door!
No, tell a funny joke. Are you really Johan?
Don't make me fake my death when someone's really about to die.
No, do it.
Ah, I'm dead. He opens the door, or tries to open the parlor door. Open the fucking door, Yonsei!
Tell me something only Johan would know about Yonsei.
You have an intrinsic fear of ticks, but also a fear of possums who get rid of ticks.
Possums are my friends.
The halfling mafia will kill you if you don't open this door, Yonsei. Open the door!
This motherfucker. Or Sally, get ready to grab him. Like, walk over to the door.
Or Sally grabs him.
Ah!
He lets out a whimper as he looks to Glynis fighting off a bear paw that's about to break his head. Glynis! Glynis! It's Argyle! You have to follow me!
Very good. Take me to Argyle.
Have you been here this whole time?
No! I found he explains on the way. He takes you into the city. Where Argyle is. Inside of a church where I want to say you left him there, but that's where he's been for the past weeks now. He hasn't been in the castle or part of reconstruction, and you guys have been busy as hell. Honestly, you have the keys to the castle. You don't really need him to open doors anymore. And he's just been an old guy. After a demon invasion, and then a very fierce, energetic period from him. He gave about maybe 9-ish to 10-ish days of just going full tilt as a 94-year-old man. And rather than bothering you all, rather than getting in the way of the new king and the coronation and being in the periphery doing things, he wanted to rest for the first time in about 20 years without demon influence and without anything. And like a 92-year-old man, he stopped being active, and then his health deteriorated incredibly quickly. And he sent no word. Some local priest, not even Brogvarsh, literally like a level 0 priest, showed up to the church one day and just found him passed out on the ground. And I laugh at that, but it's not funny. And Johan, a vagabond at this current state, obscured himself, was just looking for a place to sleep in the city, having escaped weeks and weeks ago from your father, just living as a rat man in people's cellars before he got kicked out. His story's a lot funnier, but he stumbled into this church, saw Argyle dying with this priest, like, helping him, and now you look at this old man who, like a cat knowing it's its time to go, fled from his family. And you find him in a delirious state.
Is this like he's dying and like he's just old, right? Like we're not gonna like cure light wounds him to like, oh, I'm feeling so much better now, right? Okay.
Even if you restored him, greatly
sure,
restored him, there would be nothing to restore.
I guess I would just sit with him, and like, I don't know, hold his hand and just talk about like fishing or like the secret passages he showed me through the like castle walls one day to get to the pantry, and like, you know, just the memories of you know, young Glynis with an old man. And I thank Johann, I guess, quietly on the way up to do that for the last couple of moments with I guess a father figure for Glynis.
It's kind of weird to call him that. You knew him in Sorcelled. You never knew who Argyle was until these past 2 weeks.
But it doesn't change what like was, right? Still the person I knew, even if his mind was clouded.
There is I suppose, odd comfort in his final moments when he is delirious once more on the way out, and he mutters, "Don't let Yonsei steal my keys." Just one final time. I think he took your vestments. But Argyle is an old man from when your country was incredibly young. Like, he was born 8 years into the kingdom's founding. He served your great-grandfather. He served your grandfather. He served your father. And he raised you in a stupor. He gave his life for the Marchette bloodline. And unfortunately, after playing rabble-rouser, blowing his voice out, half-starving himself, rallying the troops at one point, it is his time. And unfortunately, that is the last ordeal that we will be having in Livistio. And I want to thank you all for playing this campaign. And I have plans as we settle our last scene of Glynis holding Argyle's hand as a new and brighter future appears to be on the horizon. Any final words before we head on out?
I don't think so.
Then that is where we will call it. Oh?
Just
I just want to
learn
say
from
beautiful
our
story.
What was that, Corin?
Learn from Argyle's mistake and just don't die.
Stole my line, you son of a bitch. Alright. I can't say it now.
What is this?
Yes, you can. You gotta say it.
A sad but also hopeful ending.
You gotta say it, John.
One D&D. Thank you all so much for joining me. I am John Dungeon Master, and as always, don't die.